Hey, welcome back, podcast fans. Welcome to Stories from the River. This is your host, Charlie Malouf, and we've got a treat for you today. We are about to unveil our Retail 101 series, and I am here with our premier senior learning and development specialist, Bre Dolphin. Longtime listener, first-time caller. Bre, welcome to the pod.
Thank you, Charlie. Happy to be here.
We're excited to have you.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
Bre, you've been at the river. You've had two instances with the river. Give us a little bit of your background and history.
Oh my goodness. I started in 2014 on Black Friday.
Oh, wow.
Was my first day in Mooresville, the lake. Near and dear to my heart. I love that store so much. And it was always my dream to be in learning and development.
Really?
Yes. I actually had this little binder set up for all of the new memory makers who started the store. Yeah. Outlined their whole entire month, their first month when they came in. So
you came and you did sales for a period of time.
I did.
And for like 3 years. And you became a sales manager at the lake.
I did.
Yeah, you worked with Kevin Kuhlman, and then you went through at least one or two Orange Crush tours.
Yes.
Yeah.
We broke records with a 300 SPG. I still have the plaque.
Yeah, I love it. And then those records were also then subsequently broken. And then so then you left for a period of time.
I did.
I think you became a mom.
I did.
Yeah.
I left to get married 2019. Moved to the beach.
Okay.
Got married. Had 2 kids.
So you were with us for 5 years, and then you left. Now, did you go in and get into learning and development before you left?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I remember 2017, we had $17 million writers. We all fit in that training room here at Fort Mill. So, yes, I did. I was a part of Heather's team. We taught Retail 101.
So there's a transition, and so because you always wanted to be in learning and development, that's why you transitioned out of sales and a prosperous career in sales into L&D.
I did. I showed Heather that binder that I made, and I almost begged her to be a part of her team because I just loved it so much. I have such a passion for learning and development. And
then you went, got married, you had some babies.
Yeah.
You came back. When did you come back?
3 years ago almost.
Okay. So this was 2021.
Yes.
So your family moved back here?
Yes. I actually begged my husband to move back to
Really?
Charlotte. I couldn't take the tourism of the beach life any longer, and I just wanted to be back in my home in Charlotte.
Okay, got it. So you came back and did you immediately come back to Broad River again?
I did. Actually, I let Heather know that I was moving back. And yes, I came back actually as an onboarding specialist.
Okay.
Yes, so part of the MMX team.
And you did that for how long before getting into the L&D specialist role?
1 year.
Okay, fantastic. So you picked up all these learnings from retail, from doing sales, from being a sales manager, from doing onboarding. How have those kind of parlayed into how you do your job at a premier level today?
I correlate everything from when I was on the floor to writing course books for new memory makers. I relate everything back to when I was on the floor and my mindset of what would I need to know? What would the HFCs need to know today to be successful? That is my main goal, is to make sure that they have everything to be successful.
Yeah, their success is our scorecard.
Absolutely.
Right. And I love that you touched on your mindset. So you're doing a lot of self-reflection of what would they need if I were in their shoes? And you've walked in their shoes. So let's talk about the program a little bit. Give us a brief overview of what Retail 101 is today.
Today is a 2-day training. It is a whole entire class that is very informative for when new memory makers come on board with us at Broad River Retail. It is, we have speakers, including you or Manny, a lot of education about mindset. We want to focus a lot about having a positive mindset because we're in sales. So we really want to make sure we're engaging, and we have a very upbeat 2 days of CXM. All of our premier programs, our community that we talk about. So yeah, it's a really great 2 days.
So it's 2 days, and not everyone lives in Charlotte anymore. So are we going to put them up in a hotel, or they're driving in from out of town?
We do.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they have the opportunity to check in the night before. So they do wake up here in Charlotte the day of training. So yes, we thankfully provide the hotels Monday and Tuesday. So yeah. They drive from all the way from Four Oaks to from Greenwood, all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of our people are outside of the greater Charlotte area. We're actually not even technically in Charlotte. We're across the border in Fort Mill, South Carolina. And we've certainly spread out all over the river region. Now, are they coming on their very first 2 days, or have they been in the stores for a period of time?
Usually they've been in the stores for a period of time, for about roughly 2 or 3 weeks or so before they come and sit in Retail 101 here.
And for non-retail performance memory makers, are they coming in for the full 2 days, or do they come in for just partial of it?
Full 2 days.
Really?
Absolutely. Okay. REMs come for the full 2 days just because we want to make sure they know everything that they can be supportive of their team. We have human capital memory makers that also come in because we just want to make sure that the message is received enterprise-wide.
Love it. And so how has the program morphed over time? Like, when you first started, I don't even think we had a Retail 101 program. I'm sure we had some sort of training program. We may have done training for like 2 weeks. I can't remember.
Yes.
So talk about like just kind of how it's morphed since 2014, really.
Absolutely. We have so many, we have a lot more systems involved. CXM has changed. Our CXM Next Gen has evolved just in the last 3 years. So it's really great to have everyone learn about CXM too.
Yeah, we're actually doing Retail 101 right now today. So we're pulling you away from class, and I saw Dana in the room over there teaching. A new memory maker, what should like their expectations be coming into Retail 101?
Ooh, I think their expectation is to bring back something with them to the stores, just to help them be successful that they didn't know before. And a broader mindset, just everything that you talk about, just compound interest.
Yeah. The power of compounding.
The power of compounding.
Applied to like learning and professional development.
That, I think, is probably one of their biggest takeaways of what you talk about in class, and just the power of one more. Really.
The Ed Milet book, From the Power of One More. Love that story.
Yes.
And then they get some motivational talks from Stacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they hear from Carl Hillsland for VIP and sleep.
Okay.
So a lot of them love to hear little tidbits that they didn't think about before when presenting sleep or VIP. And they take that back with them to the stores and help them be successful. And we see it in their KPI reports after they leave here. And we know that. Yeah.
So we're going broad, like mindset, perspective, goal setting. You're here, you're starting a new career, a new job. A little bit of the company history, how we got here, who Ashley is, who Broad River Retail is. And then technical, like sales. Have you thought about this? Making sure you understand the sales process. Now we get into some of our pillars, VIP and sleep and CXM. So tactically how you can do that. So we go broad, mindset, and then answering questions along the way. What are some of your favorite questions that you hear them ask at Retail 101? Do you have some favorites or some memorable ones?
Ooh, yesterday my favorite was when they asked you about your books. I know you're really passionate about your books. So anytime that anybody can ask Charlie about his books, he reads. I love it. Yeah,
I'm not always as good on the spot, though. Sometimes I have to go back and reflect.
You have so many.
I have to go back and think about them a little bit. Okay, so they're in this program, and then like, what would cause someone like they don't always go perfectly, right? And so. And someone may have not be in the right mindset. They might have other issues at home. They might not be focused. What could cause someone to like be derailed or not have a great experience for Retail 101?
That's hard to say because we have such a wide variety of memory makers who come in, and it all depends on the traffic or. They could be dealing with a cancellation at the stores while they're here, and they feel like they should be in the stores rather. Than here. So it all depends. But we have a lot of memory makers who really stay engaged for the 2 days.
Yeah. And, even if you're a rehire, like we've got a couple of rehires in the class, and even if you're a manager and you've done retail for 20 years, you're still going to Retail 101. So, we got Kay Edwards, we got Jacob McMillan, in there. We got Alexis in there. It's a general manager of Augusta. So what is that experience like for them who may have already been with the company or been in retail for a long period of time?
Their mindset is amazing. They are so open to learning, and they are very engaged, and there's always something they didn't know before, especially for Kay Edwards. This was a really great refresher for him, he even said, and Jacob. We just went over the Hope to Dream, and Jacob had a lot of positive feedback about the program and how he's going to take it back to his store and everything like that. So, yeah, they're very open-minded.
Yeah, I think anytime you can kind of come reflect for a couple days, really get focused on like getting better and learning and putting all the other distractions away,
Yes.
you're going to pick up something new. But you're not only going to pick up something new, I think, from the content. You also have the interactions with your classmates. And like, to me, it's kind of something special. Like once you've been in this Retail 101 class with a group, like that's your group who, like for the rest of your career at Broad River, you were in the Retail 101 class together. How have you seen those relationships continue and the interactions and the questions you might learn from each other, regardless if you're brand new to sales, brand new to the industry, or been with the company for previously or been in retail previously?
They are forever bonded. They reach out to one another. If one of them is doing well in sleep, they will call each other up and they will ask them what they're doing different. I love seeing the connection that they build between the stores that they didn't meet before. Because they never get to connect with, somebody from Columbia doesn't always get to connect with somebody from university. So they are bonded for life from spending the 2 days within this class.
Yeah, I like that as well. And then, not to give up too much away, but there's that healthy camaraderie and competition because
they are very competitive. It's so great to see, and it's so fun.
But they're supportive.
Yes.
They're competing. For their. We always have some contests.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away too much there. But then they have contests. But then they're like also cheering each other on.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
They're always reaching out like, good job. Any shout outs on Boxer, any shout outs on anything that's announced. So yeah.
I meant to say this earlier, but we not only do we put them up in a hotel if they're coming in from out of town to limit their drive, make sure they can be well rested. We feed them pretty well when they're here too.
Oh yes, that was the best part. I think today we have Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Oof! I made sure that they knew that it's a rainy day and lasagna. It was make sure they didn't fall asleep.
Sometimes we may have to crank down the air a little bit. Make sure we're super engaged there.
Yes.
So where do you see the program going in 2025 and beyond?
Well, we're very focused on culture on day one. So we are going to, I think, in 2025. Really make the culture our most important focus on day one. And then day two will be systems, CXM, sleep, and pillars, and everything like that. But we see the engagement of the culture pieces and the speakers, like when you come in. We really want to make sure, day one is really focused on culture.
And I always feel like we can get better at it. We try to survey after every single one and understand just the scores and the feedback that comes through. We've really refined it down to 2 days. Is that the right amount of time? Should it be shorter? Should it be longer?
Honestly, I love spending time with them, so I would go a whole week if I could. But even 2.5 days, there's always something that we could talk about and learn, maybe even take a trip to our Pineville store. Go on a little field trip. You never know.
That's a good idea there. Yeah. That's a good idea there. So as you think about like just the culture and the broader impacts of Retail 101, how do you see it cascading just company culture, like going through this? Do you see an impact on the broader company culture?
Absolutely. Their biggest takeaway is our CEO knows our names, even 2 years down the road, just from you meeting them in Retail 101. They hold that dear to their hearts. They always say, everybody, CEOs, COOs, Manny, everybody knows their name, where they came from, their story, their background, what they're doing during the day in the store. So just you all knowing them and knowing everything about them is their biggest takeaway.
Well, it's getting harder to do because
you have a lot of them.
I'm getting older and my mind is not as sharp as it used to be, and we're getting more and more people. But I do love to read the bios and the descriptions and the pictures. I'm always disappointed when we don't have a bio submitted. I want to know about you. And so I love to kind of learn. And that time with them, it's a really special time. Maybe just once a month we do Retail 101 class here in Fort Mill. But and it's, there was a period of time when we were doing it over Zoom, right? We were having Retail 101 over Zoom, and I think at one point in time I was teaching 3 classes for like 3 hours. I'm looking at these little boxes on screen, and they have to listen to me for 3 hours. I don't think that's super productive. So we've condensed it to now. We said no, it's going to go in person. I do think that's better. Yeah, it's better in person. But yeah, during COVID, that's what we kind of had to do. Other than 2.5 days with some field trips, are there any other that would be kind of cool to have things that you would add to Retail 101 on your wish list?
I want some FaceTime with some memory makers. We
Say
did
more,
this
say
one.
more.
We did this one project briefly this year. We tried it out. We FaceTimed some $1 million memory makers just to hear their stories, and we role played with them on the screen.
Oh, that's cool.
It was fun. It was fun. We called some fun people, and they learned a lot. Just some little things here and there that they could be doing differently to increase their business.
I think when you learn from those who are successful, like when we had at our Sleep Connection, we had Holly White and Jamar share some of their tidbits. There's some great nuggets there.
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of which, can you share some success stories or examples of how this program has made a tangible difference within the organization?
Oh my goodness. Just the potential income just from being themselves. They don't have to do anything different to make a substantial amount of money. So it is great that they can actually learn that this is just for the taking, just from being themselves and being happy and being engaging.
Yeah, so if you're in commission, understanding how you get paid and how you can grow your income.
Yes.
And what about individual success stories who've gone through the program?
My favorite is probably Jamar Ray. I think he came from A Now, which is Acceptance Now that we had in our stores, and previously, and he came to class in February. And I was teaching the class
many years ago.
Many years ago. I think that was one of my first Retail 1 classes that I was teaching. I think I was still in training with Heather. But he, I think, broke a record. He started in February and became $1 million writer in December.
That particular year, his first year.
Year, and it was I think it was 10 months on the sales floor.
Wow.
And it was just, he like that.
He's still getting better and better.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he's had a great year.
It's so great.
So what kind of feedback, you read the surveys, you get the anecdotal feedback, I'm sure you check in with them throughout the day. What sort of feedback have you received from the participants, and how do you use that feedback to improve the program? Absolutely.
I think just the feedback of them wanting more FaceTime with the memory makers, and then next year, hopefully, maybe we can do some more systems. I know we do a lot of CXM in class, but a lot more maybe stories of just the technical side of it. But yeah, just more of how to explain things differently.
Yeah, and maybe we can also try to figure out how to personalize it more. Like if some folks have more or less technical experience, kind of refining the technical training to those who kind of are struggling with it, or in certain areas.
It's always changing and it's always evolving. I know when I first started, we were writing our tickets, handwritten tickets that we handed into the REMs to key themselves. So looking back to then to now, how it's changed is just keeping up with processes.
We've come a long way. I don't think I can go on the sales floor and keep up with the systems today.
No, that's why teach.
All right, Bre. So coming down the final stretch here, how do you keep participants engaged throughout the program? And are there any specific strategies that have worked very well for you?
Yes, I keep them engaged. We get up and take many breaks just to make sure that they're up and moving. But we always focus on not bringing your devices in. We make sure we leave, the stores at the stores. You'll get to there when you get back. And your GMs will be there to handle it when you're gone. And then anytime we're introducing a speaker, we make sure they give them a warm welcome. But yeah, we just want to keep the energy high. I'm very big on energy and upbeat and always happy. And I love talking to people too, as you can tell. So
you got to pipe in some music and keep them going.
Yes.
I think also it's really important for their manager, who's sending whose store they're in, for instance, to make sure they level set on the expectations. You're going to be a positive representative of our store, of our team, of our company, and so kind of know the situation you're in.
They're very truthful when they come to the class. I always compare it to my toddlers when I think about them going to preschool.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, they love to share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's been the most rewarding part of being involved in Retail 101 for you personally?
Like I said before, I'm very big on facial expressions. So when I see something and then their face lights up that they didn't know before, that to me has been a really big part. But just watching their KPI reports and watching their success. I know I had one memory maker asked me a bunch of questions, something that she was struggling with. And I was like, you know what, you'll get there. Just keep practicing. It's okay. You're still new. Just embrace being new. And then I watched her KPI reports, and she's doing really well.
Did you text her, email her, check in?
Absolutely.
And what
oh
she
my
said?
Gosh. She's like, yes, thank you. Yeah. I really appreciate your help. Yeah.
So, if someone's like kind of resisting or hesitant about joining the program or attending, what do you say to kind of overcome that resistance?
Oh, I just say it's 2 days. You'll love it. You don't ever get a chance to hear from you or Manny or, spend 3 hours focusing on CXM. So this is a really great opportunity. And like I said, it's 2 days, and it's amazing 2 days. And you have a lot of fun, and you get food.
Yeah, and we feed you. Is there anything else you want to say about Retail 101 or any message to like new memory makers who, before they join the river, like of what to expect?
I would just say get to hear some. That's a hard question. I would say it would be just how to have a positive mindset on the sales floor. You talked about yesterday how they compared it to sports and how somebody could be an MVP and still strike out 70% of the time and get paid millions of dollars to be on a baseball team. And that's what sales is. You're successful 20% of the time, and you need to forget about the other 80.
Yeah.
And that's hard for a lot of people to kind of have that mindset. But you have the memory of a goldfish, and that is just something they love hearing about, and just be like, yeah, we got this.
That's like Ted Lasso. I love that. Have a short-term memory. Yeah. We were talking earlier off camera about just a favorite. You're a long-time listener, but a first-time caller. And with that being said, do you listen to Stories from the River?
I do.
And do you have a favorite episode?
I do.
And which is it?
Hope Stalkers podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The Hopra is what we call it.
Hopra.
Yeah. And which episode that Hope did?
It was her first episode.
Okay.
She talked a lot about her family, but she talked a lot about when she first started in Matthews. And that's where I first started in 2014. But yeah, she would just she was very transparent about the Stories when we introduced Stories, implemented that, and I was right there that whole year. So yeah, it made me very emotional when I was listening to it, and I loved it.
I thought you were thinking about when Hope was guest host, but you were actually talking about when I interviewed Hope, and I think she did a 2-parter for that one. She did a great interview and really connected with a lot of people who've been here, and also, just if you're a woman leader in our company, and she's a great role model. And then she also took the guest hosting job and did a great job with that. So, Bre, thanks so much for leading Retail 101 so well, for having a passion for helping people get better. We like to say your success is our scorecard, and so it's like our job. We're going to be your biggest cheerleaders. We're going to be on the sidelines cheering you on. Absolutely. And we're here to help you. We want to get better. Meet the moment when you come into Retail 101. Be aware of where you are and be focused on getting better. This is your time to get better. Your 2 days to commit to the process of self-improvement. And we're going to invest in you, and it's important to us. And then bring great questions, bring great energy.
Yes.
And we're going to try to bring great energy too. And you're surrounded by, your classmates, and so we can all kind of figure out how to grow and make this company better together. And, if we don't grow and invest in our people, we'll stagnate as a company. So you're helping Broad River get better. We just did a series on being the Retailer of the Year. And I think a cornerstone program of being Retailer of the Year is having a really premier Retail 101 program. So thanks for all that you do to lead us and our newest memory makers so well. I know they appreciate you and having you in their corner, cheering them on and helping them get better.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. I absolutely love it.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us here on this episode of Stories from the River, our Retail 101 series with Bre Dolphin, our premier senior learning and development specialist, and our first time guest having Bre on the pod. We try to bring you fresh new content every Tuesday and Thursday. We're bringing in a new year, 2025. We hope you've got your resolutions ready and fired up, and we're fired up to bring you fresh new content wherever you get your content. Hey, now it might be on LinkedIn with some of our short clips, or YouTube, or Apple, or Spotify. Thanks so much.